Imagine this. It's 1997, and you're in Nashville, Tennessee, a city alive with the dreams of country music hopefuls, where fast food joints like Captain D's and McDonald's are the heartbeat of late-night cravings. But beneath the glow of this vibrant city, a predator is watching. He's not hiding in shadows or abandoned buildings. No, he's walking into brightly lit restaurants, blending in with the crowd, his charming smile masking a dangerous intent. His name is Paul Dennis Reid Jr., and in just 2 months, he'll unleash a wave of terror that will leave 7 lives taken, 2 people fighting to survive, and an entire state haunted by his name, the fast food killer. Sarah Jackson, a 16-year-old high school student with a bright future, was prepping for the breakfast rush. She was a straight-A student, loved by her friends for her infectious laugh. Her manager, Steve Hampton, 25, was a hard-working family man, known for his kindness and dedication to his team. They were just opening the restaurant when a man walked in, claiming he wanted a job application. That man was Paul Reid. He didn't want a job. He wanted money. He forced Sarah and Steve into the restaurant's cooler, made them lie face down on the cold floor, and ended their lives with a weapon. The act was swift and heartless. When it was over, Reid emptied the cash register, taking even the loose change. 2 days later, he used that money to make a down payment on a car, as if nothing had happened. Sarah and Steve's absence was discovered hours later by a coworker. The community was in shock. Who could do something so cruel? Nashville police were on high alert. The crime scene was clean. No fingerprints, no clear motive beyond the robbery. But there was a clue. Steve Hampton's driver's license and a video rental card found discarded on Ellington Parkway miles away. And on those items, Paul Reid's fingerprints. 5 weeks later, on March 23, 1997, Reid struck again. This time, it was a McDonald's in Nashville's Hermitage neighborhood. Andrea Brown, 17, was a high school junior with dreams of becoming a teacher. Ronald Santiago, 27, was a dedicated employee, sending money home to his family. Robert Sewell, in his early 20s, was known for his sense of humor, always making his coworkers laugh. And Jose Antonio Ramirez Gonzalez, a hardworking immigrant, was just trying to build a better life. They were closing up for the night when Reid approached, weapon in hand. Reid herded them into the storeroom, demanding cash. He took the lives of Andrea, Ronald, and Robert in a swift, calculated act. But when he turned his weapon on Jose, something went wrong. It malfunctioned. Jose saw his chance. He fought back, grappling with Reid, but the killer pulled a blade, attacking Jose 17 times. Thinking Jose was gone, Reid grabbed $3,000 from the registers and fled. But Jose wasn't gone. Gravely injured, he played dead, lying still until he heard the door slam. Then, in a moment of incredible courage, he crawled to a phone and dialed 911. Jose's survival was a miracle and a turning point. He described his attacker to police, a white male, medium build, with a cold, calculated demeanor. Detectives now had a witness, and they were starting to see a pattern. The Captain D's and McDonald's crimes were too similar. Fast food restaurants, late-night robberies, lives taken with precision. Was this the work of a serial predator? Angela Holmes, 21, was a dreamer with a heart of gold. She was working at Baskin-Robbins to save for college, hoping to become a nurse. Michelle Mace, just 16, was a high school sophomore with a passion for music and a smile that lit up the room. The two were friends, often giggling through their shifts, making the mundane fun. On this night, they were cleaning up, ready to head home, when a knock came at the door. Paul Reid didn't just rob the Baskin-Robbins. He forced Angela and Michelle into his car and drove them to Dunbar Cave State Park, a secluded spot outside Clarksville. There, in the darkness, he ended their lives in a brutal act, leaving them in the woods. The next morning, a park ranger found them, their futures stolen in an act of unimaginable cruelty. Clarksville, a town unaccustomed to such tragedy, was devastated. The investigation exploded. Police found traces of the victims on Reid's shoes, linked to Angela and Michelle. A credit card receipt for gas purchased near Dunbar Cave on the night of the crime placed Reid at the scene. Witnesses reported seeing a car matching his at the park. The evidence was piling up, and Reid's name was now at the center of it all. Nashville and Clarksville police were now working together, convinced they had a serial predator. The Captain D's fingerprints, Jose's description from McDonald's, and the forensic evidence from Baskin-Robbins all pointed to Paul Reid. A search of his apartment uncovered stolen bank bags from the restaurants and financial records, showing he'd paid off a car lease right after the robberies. Reid, the charming drifter, was unraveling. On June 25, 1997, Reid was apprehended, but even as the cuffs went on, he was spinning a web of paranoia, claiming he was being framed by a government conspiracy. He called his defense team actors and rambled about secret projects. Prosecutors, however, saw through it, arguing Reid was a master manipulator, using these delusions to dodge accountability. Reid faced 3 separate trials for 7 counts of first-degree crime. To ensure fairness, jurors were brought in from West and East Tennessee, far from Nashville's media frenzy. The Captain D's trial came first, where Reid's fingerprints on Steve Hampton's belongings sealed his fate. In the McDonald's trial, Jose Gonzalez's powerful testimony painted a vivid picture of Reid's cruelty. And in Clarksville, the forensic evidence from Baskin-Robbins, traces on Reid's shoes, the gas receipt, left no doubt. The prosecution's case was relentless. Reid had a history of violent felonies, including his 1983 robbery conviction. The crimes were heinous, cruel, and calculated. The defense argued Reid was mentally unfit, citing his paranoia and erratic behavior. His sister, Linda Martiniano, fought tirelessly, claiming he couldn't make sound legal decisions. But prosecutors countered that Reid was faking it, a con artist to the end. The juries didn't buy the defense. Reid was convicted on all 7 counts and sentenced to the ultimate penalty for each, a Tennessee record. Reid's appeals stretched over years. He wavered, sometimes fighting his sentences, other times saying he was ready to face his fate. His final hearing was stayed multiple times, including hours before a scheduled proceeding in 2003. Advocates rallied, arguing his mental state warranted mercy. But the Tennessee Supreme Court upheld his sentences, and Reid's fate seemed sealed. Reid's name didn't just haunt Tennessee. For a time, he was a prime suspect in the 1993 Browns chicken tragedy in Palatine, Illinois, where 7 lives were taken in a fast food robbery eerily similar to his crimes. Shoe prints and witness descriptions matched his profile. He was also considered a suspect in a Houston bowling alley case. But Reid's alibis checked out, and other perpetrators were convicted. Still, the similarities left a chilling question. How many more crimes might he have committed if he hadn't been caught? Paul Dennis Reid Jr. never faced his final penalty. On November 1, 2013, just days before his 56th birthday, he passed away in Nashville General Hospital from complications of pneumonia, heart failure, and respiratory issues. His passing brought no closure to the families of his victims. Sarah Jackson, Steve Hampton, Andrea Brown, Ronald Santiago, Robert Sewell, Angela Holmes, and Michelle Mace. Their names are etched in the hearts of those who loved them. Sarah's laughter, Steve's kindness, Andrea's dreams, Ronald's generosity, Robert's humor, Angela's compassion, Michelle's music. They were more than victims. They were people with futures stolen by a man who saw them as obstacles to his greed. Jose Gonzalez, the sole survivor, carried the scars of that night but found strength in his survival, testifying to ensure justice was served. The fast food killer's crimes changed Tennessee forever. Fast food chains implemented new safety measures, panic buttons, better lighting, no late-night shifts alone. Communities rallied, raising funds for the victims' families and pushing for stronger protections. But the pain lingers. For every life Reid took, he left behind a ripple of grief, a reminder that danger can hide in the most ordinary places. Their stories remind us to hold tight to those we love, to fight for justice, and to never let fear win. Paul Reid's reign of terror is over, but the light of his victims shines on.
Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video to be interesting, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into true events like this, mysteries, and much more. Until next time, please stay safe out there, and as always, stay curious.